Good morning. My name is Tom. I come to you from the Rustic log cabin in Northern Maine. Welcome to my trapping shed today. Get yourself a cup of coffee if you don't have one yet, or lemonade, whatever you want. I like coffee. I got a great idea of a video this morning from one of my comments, from one of the viewers. So that's what today's video is going to be about. I'm going to answer the comment that came in this morning on today's video. I'm not going to read you the whole comment, but you'll get the gist of it. It comes from Turning Leaf 100, and it was a great question, and that's why it just opened the door up for this video. And this video is going to, this is Sunday morning's video, so this will come out on Wednesday, the answer to this question. Question, are you hunting out of both cabins this year? Question mark. So it's a two-part question, so I'm going to answer that one first. Yes, I am hunting out of both cabins this year. And the reason I'm going to hunt out of both cabins this year is kind of twofold. Further on in the question, actually, I think maybe I'll read the whole question, and that way we can bring it all together. So the question is, are you going to hunt out of both cabins this year? And is the main reason why you chose the outpost cabin because hunting is declining in the area around your other cabin? So I'm going to answer that first. No, the deer population around my other cabin is not declining at all whatsoever. The answer to the first part of that question is yes, I will be hunting out of both cabins. Now the question is why? Well, it's a whole bunch of reasons why, but the main reason is it's like diversifying. You know, I can hunt everything in the area around my cabin. Or I can diversify and have another cabin. Now, the biggest reason for the outpost was it's a lot easier to bear hunt if you're bear hunting on your own piece of property. So when this piece of property came up and the opportunity to build the outpost, that's really what it was designed for. That's part of the answer. Another part of that same question and another part of that answer is the biggest reason why I've developed another hunting grounds is all you've got to do is look around yourself. You can have your head buried in the sand, or you can look around. And when I look around, I don't trust what's going on in this country. So what does that make me do? Nothing more than I've ever done. For 50 years, I have hunted, harvested, prepared, and taken care of my own food for the freezer and for a canning jar. Whether it be fish, or whether it be deer, or moose, or bear, or small game. If it's in the Maine woods, I have probably eaten it, tried it, or canned it. So there's no difference there at all whatsoever. But when I look at the way the country is right now, I'm not sure that the grocery system that you see, that we've been accustomed to for the last 50 years, is going to be the same in 5 years or 10 years. So in my life, I always look ahead. And I believe that you have to look ahead at a minimum of 5 years. Where am I going to be 5 years from now? Where is my family going to be 5 years from now? So when I look at the system that's in this country, I'm not sure about gasoline right now. I'm not sure about the stability of the grocery store right now. Are the products going to be there for my family that have always been there for us? I'm not sure. So in my world, by developing this other piece of property and by developing this outpost, I'm diversifying where we can find food for my family 5 years from now, 2 years from now, next year. Now, as a bonus, when I get in on this piece of property, it happens to be a really good place to hunt deer. There's deer sign everywhere. So that's the other part of that question. But there's also another part of the same question. Why am I gonna Why am I developing 2 areas, or am I going to hunt both areas? Here's another, one of the other big reasons is I'm a meat hunter. I have plenty of racks on the wall. Over here in the corner, there's 3 racks. I've got a rack thrown up in a fish house up on top of the hill. I have deer racks everywhere. Deer racks don't mean nothing to me. Of course I like to shoot a big buck. Of course. I would love to get another big buck. We all do. But I'm a meat hunter first. That means I will take a doe. That means I will take a buck. Whatever goes in that freezer, because that's what we're going to eat. So in this outpost, what's different between the outpost and Northern Maine, where my rustic log cabin is, in Northern Maine, it is bucks only. That's the only deer that I can shoot in Northern Maine for the freezer. So that eliminates more than half the population of deer. Where the outpost is, I can take, there are plenty of deer in both areas. We actually have too many deer right now, not enough hunters. So what they've done is now they have what's called a bonus tag. So where the outpost is, I can, for the freezer, I can take 2 does to fill my freezer. Or I can take 1 doe and 1 buck. I can take 2 deer regardless. I can take 2 does, or I can take 1 buck and 1 deer, or 1 doe. So that's 2 deer for the freezer if I choose to shoot a doe. I got no problem shooting a doe when it's for meat. So that's another reason for that area. On top of bear, coyotes, raccoons, deer, everything is around this 15 acres that I've managed to get my hands onto. But there's still one more piece of this puzzle. Why the new outpost? And that revolves around our muzzle loading season. Muzzle loading season in Northern Maine is 5 days. It begins on a Monday and it ends on Friday. So you got 5 days to muzzle load hunt. To me, muzzle loading season at the very end of deer season is probably the best part of the whole deer season. The temperatures are cold. When I do shoot a deer, I don't have to rush it to the meat house to get it cooled off, because usually in the 1st of December, it's plenty cold. There's some snow on the ground. The bucks are still in their rut. So, you know, it goes on and on and on. Why I want a longer muzzle loading season. Okay, so at the cabin, it's 5 days. At the outpost, I have 2 weeks. I have 10 days. I've doubled my hunting time by putting in this outpost. So it all goes back to diversifying my hunt so that I can get the most out of the state of Maine hunt, whether it be in Northern Maine or whether it be in Western Maine where the outpost is. So it's a win-win for the family, as well as it's closer to the family, so I can train up my grandsons and all of that over on the new piece of property and with the outpost. So that's kind of, you know, this kind of the answer to the. It was a great question. I really like questions like that, and I really like answering them because it gives me a chance to talk about the state of Maine, and it gives me a chance to talk about our hunting season. There's some parts of it that I don't get, but I'm not the one making the rules. I'm just the one that has to live with them. So the win-win with that outpost is tremendous at all fronts. And sometimes when I go to Northern Maine for deer season, sometimes I can have the whole month. It depends on what's, you know, I have a family too, so there's certain family things that I do have to deal with. And so sometimes things creep in there and mess up the hunting seasons. You know, so this, by having a different area, a different camp, this camp is a little bit closer so that I can go there when I wouldn't necessarily have 3 or 4 days or 2 weeks in a row to go to the rustic log cabin. So there's a whole lot of win-wins there for the outpost. So, but Turning Leaf 100, I hope that answers your question, and thank you again for that great question.